Hello everybody, good morning or good afternoon, depending of where you are. I am GhostSenpai and this is Crash Team Racing Nitrofield Demastered Edition. Because as everybody knows, last year on 2019, Crash Nitrofield was released for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, and everybody loved the game. But back in 1999, the Demastered Edition of this game was released in full 8K and 600 frames per second glory, but unfortunately we are running with some technical issues, so we are gonna enjoy this at 720p or 1080p. I think it's 720p. However, I really hope that everybody is ready to enjoy this run, which is any person warpless. I'm gonna be having a decent amount of time during my run to talk about this. Just wait a little bit, doing a really quick setup, and I think that we are ready to start. So I hope that everybody gets ready for some Crash Bandicoot action. And so the time is gonna start. Well, technically the time starts when I get the control of Coco, but I have made a little setup just to have a kind of accurate time. So let's see if everything is ready. Just waiting for staff to when I can start, because it looks like we're having some little issues. Well, not issues, but we have some technical details that needs to be fixed. That looks like now we're ready, and I really hope that everybody's prepared for this. So let's make the countdown from 3. So 3, 2, 1, go! And let's start with the action. So, as I've said before, CTR was released back in 1999, and this is the 4th game developed by Naughty Dog. Unfortunately, the last one developed by them, and also the first spin-off of the Crash Bandicoot series. After 3 excellent platforming games released on the PlayStation, in 1999, Naughty Dog decided to release CDR as a spin-off attempt, and this game has been heavily compared with Mario Kart 64 since it was released, but the truth is that this game is event-based. It's based mostly on Diddy Kong Racing instead of Mario Kart 64. The game at its time was a big success, and up to this day a lot of people keeps enjoying it, and that's the reason why this got a remake called Crash Team Racing Nitrofield on last year. I'm gonna talk about the main mechanics with the control, with the gameplay of the game. So what I'm gonna doing here is trying to get some mini turbos, and with this, based on the PlayStation controller I use, I can use L1 and R1 for this. So I press R1 to jump, and I keep pressing it, and you can see at you can see at the bottom right section of the screen that there's like a meter that from green turns into red, and when it's on red, it's a signal that I can use this mini turbo. So for this, I just try to get a good timing to press L1 at the correct moment, and I can do this 3 times, and then I need to do another jump to load another 3 mini turbos. This is something I'm gonna be doing during the run, and for example, I'm gonna activate the map here so you can notice how far I am from the AI characters. So this is something good in order to try to get an advantage against them. Obviously, in the first stages, there's not so many things to say, and basically these are like a kind of tutorial stages to understand the game mechanics and all these kind of things. So real action probably is gonna start on the second world. And believe it or not, this game, well, since a lot of people likes to compare this with Mario Kart 64, let's do that. Because this game has an history mode, while we are aware that Mario Kart it's mostly like a game that you will play when you are bored or something like that, just like a casual game. And with CTR, the game got a history mode, which is the one that I'm playing. So there's actually a plot on this game. The plot is that Nitrous Oxide, who claims himself as the best driver in all the galaxy, has came to the Earth and it's looking for a decent competitor, and he tries to make a deal with us. He says that if he wins, he's gonna slave the entire world population and it's gonna turn the planet into a galaxy and a space galaxian or space parking lot. But if he is defeated, he's gonna leave the Earth and he's not gonna be bothering us anymore. So since we are the good guys, or well, we need to save our planet, we need to drive as fast as we can in order to save the planet. So basically, on a racing game like this, when we're talking about speedruns and you're wondering how suppose that you're gonna speedrun a racing game, well, it's just simple. What you need to do is to drive as fast as you can and finish on first place on the less amount of time possible. And that's the way about how are you gonna do a speedrun of this thing. So the first stage, Crash Cove, pretty simple stage, not so many things to say. Here at Silver Speedway, it's gonna be a stage that we're gonna be watching later in the run, because we need to have a boss race here. The game is divided in like kind of 4 worlds or something like that, talking about trying to put a concept to this. So each world has 4 races that we're gonna be having, and after we get all the trophies from that races, we can face a boss stage where it's gonna give to us a key that is gonna lead to us to go to the next tracks in the game. So basically on any person warpless, which is the category that I'm doing right now, what I need to do is just getting the trophies. I need to get all 4 trophies from each section of the game, and then I need to move to the boss garage in order to have a boss race and get the key that is gonna let me to access to more tracks in the game. For the full completion of the game, which is the 101%, what I need to do is that I also need to collect some crystals, some gems, some CTR tokens. I need to do some time trials and all that kind of things that extends the game a lot. But on any person warpless, we are just gonna focus into getting all the trophies. So obviously the way that you get the trophies is getting first place on each race. Once you get the trophy and defeat the boss fight, you can replay the stages to get more items that are gonna lead to you to get the full completion of the game. But in this category, that's something we're not gonna see because we just wanna go for the intended any person route. That's the reason why it's called any person warpless, because any person is a glitched category. Which what we do there is that we use some exploit on the on the local multiplayer battle mode to trigger the credits of the game. So that's the reason why they intended any person category is called any person warpless, which is shown as warpless on screen because when I submitted this game, I was aware that I was able to type the category if it wasn't any of the default ones that were shown on the submission form. But I have said, okay, at the same time skipping warpless, so yes, let's pick warpless. And this is warpless. This is basically warpless. It's not like in Super Mario World when you took pipes in order to move to another worlds. This is not the case. On this game, we don't have pipes here, or less pipes that we need to enter. Or there's not like any other intended escapes to avoid some races. That's the reason why this is called any person warpless. And I think that I got confused, and probably the previous track I named it Silver Speedway. Silver Speedway is the next track. The previous track was called Rose Tubes. I don't know why for a moment I forgot the name of the tracks. Well, now up to this point I have 3 trophies. It's time to move to now Silver Speedway and see the other track of the game. This was Mystery Capes, so now we need to go to Silver Speedway. We need to win finish on first place, and then we're gonna be able to face the Reaper, which is the first boss that we're gonna be having on the stage. Okay, so in Super Speedway we're gonna start to watch the first intended skips, and hopefully I'm gonna be getting them, because I find that some skips are a bit complicated to get on the game, talking about intended ones, but comparing this with Nitro Fuel that was released last year, I feel that the skips are more easier to get there. Or I don't know if it's just me that I suck at this. Let's just assume that it can be a mix of all of this. So, here unfortunately I failed this skip, which makes me lose like 5 seconds if I remember correctly. But it's not a big deal anyways. What I need to do is that I need to gain some speed with the mini turbos, and with that I'm gonna be able to reach a higher spot that is on the right section of the screen, as you can notice there. You can put some attention here. So I jumped earlier, so that was something bad because I have lost my momentum. And I'm pretty sure that I have put the TNT box there. So if I catch a TNT box, I just need to keep jumping in order to get rid of it. Obviously that makes me lose time because I cannot keep performing the mini turbos, but also sometimes I will be jumping a little bit, I will be doing some little hops, because this helped me to keep some of the speed that I have gained. So it's not so bad to keep jumping at all. And okay, sorry, I failed to everybody to getting this. But it's okay, I don't used to get this skip on this game. I used to get it mostly on Nitro Fuel, and I'm pretty happy about that because Nitro Fuel teach me how to get this semi-properly on the original game. And you will notice that I'm gonna be talking a lot between this game and the remastered edition, because there are some interesting stuff between both of the games, because at least on Nitro Fuel, comparing this with Insane Trilogy, that was the remakes of the first 3 games of Crash Bandicoot, Nitro Fuel was well developed. Definitely Beanox team mimic everything in the game properly, just some minor changes, but in gameplay it's almost the same. So jumping from the original game to the remastered edition, it's something really amazing. It's such a good experience. And now we're gonna face the first boss race, which is against Reaper. You're probably up to this point. Okay, I have lost my. I don't know why the game decided to don't cooperate with me with my boosting. So now I'm gonna be having some time here to talk about some stuff. So you will notice up to this point that there's no text and that we haven't listened to any dialogue, or well, we haven't listened to the Reaper voice up to this point. So I'm gonna be explaining this. I'm actually playing in the PAL version of the game, and because this version has an exclusive glitch called language glitch. So back in the 90s, in some way to compensate the lower frame rate that PAL games were having, the developers decided to include multi-language options on the games. Okay, this race is going so bad. I'm gonna try to focus a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna do that. So in order to compensate this, they decided to add a lot of languages on the games. And on PlayStation games, if we press the triangle button, usually that button is to exit menus and skip some stuff. So if on the language selection we press the triangle button, it's not supposed that we can do that, but looks like developers forgot to add a line to the code that prevents this. But if you do that, if you skip the selection of the language, the game is gonna load with no language. So that's the reason. Well, this is one of the reasons why one of the reasons why I'm playing the PAL version is for this, and because the language glitch makes some interesting effects that we're gonna be watching later. I don't want to spoil that. If somebody in the chat knows what's gonna happen later, let's try to keep this a surprise for the people who doesn't know, people who don't know a lot of these details. So now that I have defeated Ribaru, now it's time to move to the second section of the game. Also, the language glitch, as you can see, it affects Aku Aku because he cannot tell anything. He doesn't say anything, and any text gets displayed. So instead of that, it just gets skipped automatically. So I can save my triangle pattern because I don't need to skip his dialogues because automatically dialogues get skipped. And now it's time to enter the Tiger Temple, the first stage I will be playing in this second section. Between the NTSC and PAL releases there are some minor differences. Usually some top runners used to say that it doesn't matter if you play on NTSC or PAL, but they recommend to play the NTSC version. This is curious because I'm from an NTSC region and I'm playing the PAL version. I'm playing this on a PSTV. So this can be like the only fastest way that I have to play this game on a console, because we are used for PS1 games. It's better to use a PlayStation 2 console because the console has a mode called Fast Disk Speed. That what it makes is that it makes the disc spins faster, reducing a good amount of loading times. And usually the slim models are the best ones because they load the game slightly faster. But with CTR it's better to use a fat model because on the slim models the game lags a lot. So there's almost no lag on the fat models. And the bad thing about fat models is that comparing them with the slim models can be used on any part of the world because they support any kind of voltage, but with the PAL consoles, depending on the region where you get the console, it's gonna be the kind of electricity that you require. So unfortunately in my country the electricity is not enough to make that a fat PAL PS2 work, so I'm playing this on a PSTV, which also, this is another interesting thing that I want to mention, because this game is divided into leaderboards or something like that. I don't know how to define that properly, but the first leaderboard is called disc. When you play the game on an emulator, or when you use a console, you are using a disc to play the game. Or and also we have the virtual console, which is when you play the PlayStation release, which is the one that I'm playing on the PSP, on the PS Vita, PSTV, or also on the PS3. Okay, this wasn't my best Tiger Temple, but it was good. The reason why the leaderboards are split is because after some testings, many people notice that usually PS1 games on a PSP runs like a 4% faster, so this can have some advantages. Anyways, the disc-based runs are more popular. Not so many people runs on PC. Probably I'm just the only semi-active person who runs this game on a virtual console release. So now my favorite track, which is Coco Park, and the reason why it's my favorite is because it's based on the best character of the game and also the most cutest girl that's available in this game, which is Coco. The characters also helps a lot on the run. On the first years of the speed running of this game, back on all SDA days, the runners prefer to use fast characters because obviously they were faster, but then sometime later discovered that acceleration was the real key behind getting faster times and stuff like that. So that's the reason why the acceleration characters such as Coco or Engine are the ones that were believed as the best characters used in the game. But some months ago, some strats for, again, the speed characters were found, so Now the actual world record that was achieved some days ago uses again fast character instead of an acceleration one, but I prefer to use an acceleration character. Just Coco. I'm used to use her since I was a kid, so it's not like a big problem for me to use her. So now, again, the interesting stuff is gonna start on the next track, which is gonna be Papu Papu. We're gonna be watching the first unintended skip that we're gonna be having, the first unintended circuit that we're gonna having on the run. And now, I'm gonna go directly to the Papu's garage. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it on the after I finish this, which is, as you can see, it's closer to the podium. And I'm gonna do this because when you try to reach a boss garage without having all the trophies required, there's gonna be an additional cutscene that is gonna get triggered where Aku Aku or Uka Uka, if you are playing with a billion in the game, it's gonna tell to us that to access to that boss garage we need to get all the trophies of the zone. So if once I do that one time, that's not gonna happen again, but on the last world of the game, the last section, the boss garage is so close on a tight road, so you will try to don't trigger that because that wasted more time for some reason. So this is an intended skip that I haven't failed. I just have fallen down, but it's still been fine. So what I have done here is that I need to gain some speed with the mini turbos, and then I'm gonna be trying to move like in a curve. So with this, what I'm gonna be doing is that I will try to go as open as I can, as widely open as I can on the road. And in gaining the enough speed, I'm gonna be able to perform an intended jump that is gonna save, like, I think it's between 5 to 10 seconds, because I don't go through the last section of the game of the track. Unfortunately, I have failed down here, but let's see if I can get it. So if I fail like that and I fall down, I need to time correctly my acceleration moment. Because if I start to accelerate before I touch the ground and I have gained another acceleration, like on the case with the game when I'm gonna start with the track, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna have a little boost that's gonna give me the enough speed that I need to try again to get that unintended shortcut. The good thing is that this unintended shortcut, it's also available on Nitro Fuel. I remember that on day one I tried to get it, and on the first attempt I got it, so I was surprised that I was able to do that. So now I'm gonna trigger the cutscene that I was talking about. And again, I don't need to get worried to keep pressing the triangle button when Aku Aku appears. If you're wondering what he's trying to say as we complete a track, is that he used to give to us some hints, but we can listen to them on the pause menu anyways. So that's something that we shouldn't be so worried about. Oh, okay, wrong button. So Dingo Canyon, and probably this is my first problematic stage, because as you can notice, we're gonna be having a lot of close tracks with a lot of curves, so sometimes trying to move here is gonna be something complicated. I used to play this model with an analog stick, but in some sections I switched to the D-pad, and I press the square button, that is the brake, to make more closer movements here, because sometimes turning in the game can be a real nightmare. And also you will noticing that I will try to get different items, because sometimes the game can be good with you I think that there's like a 5% of possibility that this can happen, but the game sometimes can give you a boosting item here. And also some items can be used as a shield, like this potion that I unfortunately throw in front of me, so I wasn't able to use this potion anyways. Also, what I'm gonna be trying to do is that sometimes when there are some sections where I can be on the air, I'm gonna perform a jump, and that jump is gonna help to me that at the moment that I land on the floor, the most time that I keep on the air, the most biggest boosting that I'm gonna be having onside land. So it's gonna be helpful because you can notice that on the fire that it's on the. You get that on the fire that you can see behind my car. Sorry if I get sometimes confused with what I'm saying. So now at this moment I have got now all the trophies from this section. Actually I have 8 trophies. So now it's time to face Papu Papu and to notice something weird. So this is another effect of the language glitch, and also another of the reasons why I like to run the ball version, because we don't have any dialogue with the bosses, but for some reason avoiding Reaper Root, the heads from the other bosses gets swapped. I don't understand why why does this happen, but it happens. Also with the tag you can notice the game doesn't say it's first, second and that kind of thing, it just say 1. Because that's another factor with the language, because depending on the language is the text that's gonna be next to the number, and also you can notice that on the laps it doesn't say laps, or in time it doesn't say time. So language glitch, attacks, and okay, this is gonna be in a slow start, so I'm gonna be quiet, just try to focus. Because this boss fight can be a bit complicated sometimes. Also in the air I make these close turnings, just to be sure that I'm gonna keep on the track. And I don't wanna watch the minimap right now because something tells me that this guy is close to me. And also something curious is that also the sound effects, or well, the dialogues from all the characters are linked to the language, but here, when you download any language, the English voices sometimes can be low. So this is the intended way that you should do this. Because unfortunately I have triggered another point where I was, I haven't appeared on the position I was looking for, in order to try to get a little mini boosting. Okay, focus mode activated. Okay, for a moment I thought I wasn't gonna get that, so this is pretty cool. So we can say that we are now at the middle of the run in some way, just if we don't focus for now on the last boss race. Because with this we have beaten 2 sections of the game, we have another 2 sections of the game that we need to beat, and after we have beaten all the 4 sections we can face we can go against the last boss, which is nitrous oxide. So here for some reason there's some lag when I'm gonna start introduce this stage, so what I'm gonna be doing here is that I'm gonna switch the camera, because if this lags obviously it's gonna take more time to me to enter to the stage, so I decided to change the camera here just to reduce lag. Nothing really important. And now the laser blob, this is where a lot of interesting things are gonna start. On the PS1 version, it's a bit complicated to me to get escape, so I'm just gonna try it one time. If I fail it, I'm gonna go on the intended route, and then I'm gonna give it a try again. So let's see. There we go, I get it. Because for this escape, what you need to do is that you need to gain a good amount of speed. But sometimes the mini turbos doesn't cooperate with me properly, so I will try it again on the second lap, and probably if I fail it, I'm not gonna go for it on the last lap. Also, you can see again how many times you can save. That's an intended shortcut anyways, but it's not like something really easy sometimes. On the remake, this is amazingly more easier. Barely, was so close. I'm running this, that's my name in Spanish, because I have two usernames, my name in Spanish, which is the one that the bot is having right now, and my name in English. The reason why I have two usernames is because I decided to help to the people who don't speak Spanish in order to pronounce it correctly my name, because usually they used to have some problems pronouncing my name in Spanish, so I decided to make something good for the community and help them. Because since my main language is Spanish, obviously my username is all in Spanish, so the information is not foreign. Don't worry about that. And I forgot to keep mashing X. Here you can notice also that on the screens, mostly when I complete these tracks, usually there's a screen that says press cross and continue, but instead of that I have bought cross and circle. On the Japanese release on the game, as we know, usually on Japanese games for the PlayStation consoles, we use the circle button to confirm stuff, and the cross button to cancel, but here in America and also in Europe it's different. We confirm everything with the cross button. Why? I don't know. But that happened for some reason. So here, Dragon Mines, I used to fall down sometimes like this. No, well, not really. But it's not a big deal to fall on this bridge. I can keep me back in first place in a bit. It's not like a big problem. But again, we have some painful turning sometimes, some tricky. Some of them are tricky, as you were able to see. It's weird that I fall down on the bridge sometimes. What I used to do there is that I don't try to get any mini turbos. I just keep doing little jumps to keep my speed. And also I mix this with the movement of the section with the D-pad, and also sometimes I use some brakes. And I have a boosting item here, but I'm gonna try to keep it, just in case that I need it later. Like on this section for example, but it's a bit early to use it right now. No, I'm not surprised. Person, I'm fragmented. But, nah, not really. But the usernames are good. Use the username that you want. There are some interesting stories about both of my usernames, but that's not relevant right now. And here, since we're on the end of the track, let's use this boosting item here to finish more closer to the section. And on that part where you see some rocks in the floor, what happened there is that I can lose speed, so using these boosting items I shouldn't be so worried about that. Polar Pass, another interesting and long stage. And maybe from this section, this can be like the stage that I like to play it and that I don't like to play at the same time. Something good about this is that we have a good amount of boxes that gives to us Wumpa fruit. So just in you were wondering what that fruit is, it's called Wumpa. They're not apples, they're Wumpa fruit. And talking about the concept of Super Mario Kart and also Mario Kart 8 with the coins, when you get the most Wumpa Fruit you get, the slightly faster you go. But at the same time, if you get 10 Wumpa Fruit, which is the maximum, and your items get powered up. So for example, instead of having a TNT box, if I had 10 Wumpa Fruit, that was gonna be a Nitro box. And the difference is that TNT takes 3 seconds to explode and you can get rid of it just jumping. But Nitro box is insta-hit. And with the potions, the red potion just makes you a bit dizzy, but the red potion makes you going slightly slower. And if you had an item, it changes randomly for another one. And also you have a black cloud over you because it's raining close to you. Nice eel. No, it wasn't an eel, just the name of that animal. Dude, I am forgetting the names of the animals on English. Definitely need to take some classes on a future. Because I'm feeling that I'm getting every year worse in my English. Besides of the fact that I used to use it a lot when I'm streaming. Oh damn. Okay, not a big deal. Or probably yes. Not like a big difference, but usually with this kind of mistakes, you should be so worried about this thing on in the game when you're playing casually. So for example, this is the Nitro box. Let's suppose that it's a TNT if you have 9 to less Wumpa Fruit. And something I like about this game is that if another character, another player takes damage thanks to one of the items that you have laid on the ground, have laid on the track, you can listen to the sound effect about when does they receive damage, and I consider that as something really good and something really funny, because you can probably be thinking about, haha, you fall on my trap. I just need to keep boosting, I need to keep turning, left and right, up and down, and that's gonna be good. And my nightmare is gonna start in a couple of seconds, because now I'm gonna be playing Tiny Arena. That, to be honest, it's probably my worst track in all the game, and at the same time my less favorite one. And you're gonna see in a bit the reason behind this. Also, probably you haven't put attention, mostly if you are not so used to, or you're familiarized with the Crash Bandicoot franchise. Each of these stages are based on some characters. You can find their faces in the track also, or their names. So obviously Tiny Arena is the Tiny Tiger track. And this is a kind of a replication of a motocross track, and that's the reason why I really hate this. I mean, you can have some little sections when you can do some hops, and when you land on the floor, you can gain a little amount of speed, but at the same time, sometimes it's a bit annoying. Only in these sections where there's a closed road with this curve, so trying to drive here, it's a bit complicated for me. Personally talking, there's no lies that a lot of people like to play on this track and they can do some stuff, but for now, let's just say that this is the least favorite track of the actual runner of this marathon. And it would be really great if I just cannot play it, but we need to do it because that's part of the run, I can tell you. I'm gonna keep this boosting item, I'm gonna use it on a bit. Like on this section, because why not? And then you wanna be trolled. And guess what? It's gonna be trolled with the missile. It was so bad that I have fall down here, because here in the mud your speed is so slow. And now I'm far away from first place. I am not so worried. This keeps being the second lap, so I still haven't plenty the amount of time to get back on the first place. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I should be so confident about this. I mean, in some tracks I can chill and I don't be so worried about what's gonna happen because I know that I'm gonna be finishing on first place. But on tracks like this, I prefer to don't be so worried, but at the same time, I prefer to don't be so quiet. Get wrecked, Cortex. Okay, for a moment I was a bit scared because I thought that I was on the last lap already, but I shall be so lucky. So now it's time to activate again the focus mode. Also for the staff, if you want, you can change my name on screen. I don't have any problems with that. I have been considering to changing also my Twitch username in English, but I have some reasons to keep it on Spanish. Because also when I submit games for any marathon, I feel weird because sometimes they ask me for a name to show on screen, so I put my English username. And there are some marathons that doesn't ask me to the name on screen, they just ask for my Twitch channel and they take that name. So I'm used to be called on both ways, so you shouldn't be worried about that, people. Well, unless that you're worried about the bot is not displaying the correct runner name because you wanna follow him or her, or you wanna follow that runner, nice. And well, now this is the third boss race, which is against Komodo Joe, and as you have seen here, there's no cutscene here. This is another of the things that the language glitch does on the game. Because this first cutscene gets skipped, and this saves 20 seconds. So this is also one of the few things that helps that between Paul and NTSC there's not so many big differences in timing. So you can run any of those versions. Yeah, that's the reason why I... Damn. That's the reason why I decided to keep that name on screen, because that's more easier for non-Spanish speaking people. But sometimes people in chat can be a bit confused. I understand that, because who in the world is gonna have two usernames on the internet? Except troll people. But that's another story. It's not something we want to talk about. I can be some troller in my runs sometimes, but I'm trying to don't be like that. Because I'm pretty sure that probably something really dumb is gonna happen if I try to do something that I shouldn't be doing. So here, also something I forgot to mention, but you can notice easily, is that the bosses throw some items. So Ripper Root throws, put some TNTs on the track, Papo Papo throws potions, and Joe throws TNT boxes, and sometimes he's gonna throw some nitro boxes. Oops, get back to the origin, to the Spanish restream. What are you doing here? Oh, okay, time to play a bit safely here. Boosting time! And now it's time to move to probably the complicated section of the game, because obviously the most that you progress, the most hardest that all the things are gonna be. And now we see here that we have the body of Komodo Joe, but we have the head of nitrous oxide. Thank you again, language glitch. And now we have 3 keys. Let's keep going. Yeah, I finished on 1 place. Because if you finish on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 place, you don't get anything. You don't get the trophy. So if you're wondering what should happen if I don't get the first place, obviously I don't get the trophy. But for example, if I finished on 2nd place, the game gives me the option to restart the race. And when I restart it, I'm gonna start on 8th place. I'm gonna be starting on 2nd place. So this is like a little advantage. Casually talking. Because obviously in speedrunning this game, that's not something good, because that's gonna be translated into losing time. Because we can say that on an average time, up to this point, each track takes like 3 minutes. So if I don't finish on 1st place on my first attempt at track, and I do it again, by default I'm gonna lose the time of the track. That, like, for example, at this point it will be an average time of 3 minutes. Damn, I failed. But don't worry. Because what I was trying to do here is that I shouldn't be taking the warping path, the speed path that I took there, because for some reason your speed in the air is slow. But obviously when you land you get boosting. So I'm gonna try to get another unintended warping path, which is this one right now that I have used. That's the one that I'm trying to take later on the game. So with that I can keep my speed on the air and I don't lose some time. It doesn't save like a big amount of time, but it's something. And also this can be done on the remake, but since there's no many difference of using the alternative speed path, you can use the intended one. There's not like a big difference. And yes, in this game the character effects, because each character has their unique stats, and that's also something I need to mention about another difference with the remake. Because here, depending on the character, you can have a balanced. You can use a balanced character, a character with maximum acceleration, with maximum speed, with maximum turning. But in the remake, at the beginning it was like this, it was the same. But at some point, Activision released, Activision and Binance released an update which lets you to change the gear, to change the motors, to change the stats of the character. So for example, since Goku is a character that has an acceleration engine, I can change it on Nitro Fuel for a speed engine, which is the optimal for speedruns of the remake. And also there are some differences. For example, like this, there are some chains that Nitro Fuel that prevents that I can do this jump like this, and instead of that I need to make a good turning section here in order to reach this stage, which is Cortex Castle. The previous stage was Engine Labs. Probably from this section of the game, but I like both Engine Labs and Cortex Castle. Mostly like Engine Labs, but other stages are cool. Well, now that I'm thinking about this, just the next track that we're gonna be watching probably is not the best of the game, or probably it's my least favorite of this last section of the game. It will be a perfect world, but that track doesn't cooperate with the cost. So here at Cortex Castle, again, we have some weird turning sections, because we can see that there are not like curves. Most of these sections are rectangles, so trying to get all of this can be a bit complicated, and I have fall down here, nice. Again, not in a hurry or not so worried about this. I'm not so worried. I can save this run. also my PV in this category for Virtual Console release is 1 hour, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So comparing this with my estimate, I shouldn't be so worried about that right now. I don't know how many times I have said comparing it with my PV, which is bad because I'm not using my actual splits. And I decided to do that for a very good reason, and that's because I don't want it to get distracted if I save all this time, because sometimes recently in this game when I was rusting it, because since the remake was released I stopped playing the original game, but for the RETROTHON I decided to make this little rust. And I have noticed that when I was trying to do some reset load runs, I was watching the timer, and when I see the red splits I decided to reset the run, so you don't have any detail here in the marathon. Decided to don't use my splits, so I'm using a base timer with no splits and no additional times. Also, something else is that that I forgot to mention is that regularly in the game, when you cross the line and you start with a third lap, a little jingle is gonna start, and then the music of the stage is gonna speed up. But with the PAL version, using the language glitch, for some reason that jingle doesn't get played, so instead of that we just get the speed up version of the music. And also when we complete a track, there's another song that gets played when you complete the track. This is not the case with the language glitch. We get back with the regular music of the track. If you're wondering what I have in here, this can be the equivalent to the blue shell, but since I'm on first place I receive damage and that doesn't do anything. Yeah, casually talking, this last this last section of the game can be such a nightmare. Mostly the next stage, Color Skyway, even for the speed running, talking about myself. It's not like, okay, I got confused. This is not the stage I was gonna go for, and I was aware that this was gonna happen at some point. This is Color Skyway, the other one is Suicide Station, which is the station I'm gonna be playing later. So monthly here, the Hotel Skyway, some stuff like this can happen also. And when you play the game, at the beginning of each world you have access to 2 tracks, and when you get the trophies in both tracks, third track is open, and when you complete that, the 4th track is open. So each time that I start on a new world, I have access to 2 tracks, but I go through a specific route because that can save some seconds, because some tracks are more far from other ones, and from the podium there are some of them that can be closer, so sometimes you do some stuff, and unintended shortcuts time. So what I'm gonna be doing here is that I'm gonna try to gain some speed to make an intended jump. Okay, you got it here. And I'm gonna try to override this little wall. Sometimes I can enter into a false positive moment, like we have seen here, that I was already in first place because I was able to take this shortcut, but I haven't crossed the wall, so I just needed to move to the left, and the game's gonna recognize like if I should have fallen down from the track, and it's gonna put me on the correct position. Something good to mention about this in the remake is that obviously you are not able to do that. That's not possible in the remake. But as a little Easter egg, there's a big wall there, like a reference that the developers were so aware that some people know that you can make an escape there. So again, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna stop a little bit. I gain some speed and I make the jump, and I got here the jump, but the problem was that I fall down. So what happens here is that if I jump so high and like in a way that I get this, but I don't touch the ground, I'm gonna be back on where I was, so the game's not gonna recognize that. It's not gonna put me on the other section of the track. Doing this properly can save like 15 seconds. But if for some reason I get the jump and I touch the ground but I fall down, I'm just gonna be put again on the road on the section I was trying to reach, so not so big worries. Okay, focus mode activated again. Oh, come on, don't make me this game. And this is supposed that it's supposed that I should have done this on the other 2 laps. But since this is the last lap and these guys are so close to me, I need to be a bit worried, so let's focus a bit. And also there's another intended shortcut on this last section, but on the remake, where you can jump there. In this version there are some invisible walls, so sometimes you can fail that. And now it's time to go to Oxide Station to get the last trophy that we need. Yeah, that's given polar passes also complicated to get. But thanks to that, I cannot do that skip, so that's the reason why I haven't tried to get it. There are some skips that I cannot get in the game. I have been practicing to get them. Sometimes I can get them, sometimes I don't, so depending of the situation, if I'm going for PBs or if I'm running the game in a marathon, I'm gonna try to do some crazy stuff or not. For now, believe it or not, I'm trying to play as safely as I can, just for the safeness of the marathon and the run. So here is another intense skip. Unless these guys wanna be trolled, but I don't care, I wanna get it anyways. This was an unfortunate moment. It was pointless anyways because these guys were here, but I wanted to do it anyways. Because unfortunately what happened there is that an enemy shit to me a missile. And I got an Aku mask. This is even more weird to get. But well, since I'm on second place, I think that I have got it, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna keep it for the last lap. And again, close road, so looks like a specific runner, a certain runner, is gonna have problems trying to get these things up again. Uh-oh. Okay. Barely I got it. Because I wasn't in a good position. I put Coco on a very bad section, so for a moment I thought that I had failed the skip. With this also I can say 15 seconds because 15 seconds because there's another section that was another long section when I keep jumping on the air. But also you cannot do this on the remake. There was a setup that was found but was complicated to perform, so runners decided to don't do it. And I think that now on one of the first updates of the game that was fixed, so it was pointless anyways. And also I think that there's the developers cut a section of the track on the remake. So now since I don't have any enemy close to me, let's try to do this. Whack. Okay, definitely I got this escape on very awful positions. But at least I got it, so that's good. And sorry about that. Okay, so now up to this point I have all 16 trophies, and now it's time to face Pinstripe. All of these bosses were extracted from previous Crash game. Reaper appeared on Crash 1 and 2, Papu Papu appeared on Crash 1, Komodo Joe appeared on Crash 2, and Pinstripe appeared on Crash 1. But now we have seen, thanks to the language glitch, a weird moment with Pinstripe having the Komodo Joe's head. This guy throws bombs. And I hate bombs because they are tricky to use, but for some reason for the AI it's easy to throw them to you. Okay, that was something good. I got it anyway, so let's keep going. You know, so I'm gonna see if I can get some good luck trying to get some items. Also, for some reason, in this game, it's a bit easier to try to put some. Well, in these boss races, it's a bit easier to put some items in some spots because you can see if you are behind on the bosses that most of the time they're gonna be following the same path. So if you learn that properly, you can put some items on the road and you can make they follow them. They like to cheat, so when they receive damage, for some reason they can get a good amount of initial boosting when they are trying to get him back on the road. But that can help a bit sometimes. Game, please, don't make me this. Let's go, no! Oh, he's not supposed to let it fall down. Nice aiming, I should say. But again, focus mode activated. Not yet, niño bonito. Okay, I'm gonna go through the intended route because I got distracted. And I don't wanna take any risks, so you will see all of this was the section that usually you skip. I got distracted, I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking in something different, and something else that was in the wrong, so that's the reason why I forgot to take the skip here. Mental note, don't get distracted. And now on this point I have got all the trophies, the 4 keys, and basically we're done with the any person route. So once you get all the trophies and keys, there's a cutscene that gets triggered, then we're gonna be watching on a bit with the nitrous oxide that's gonna tell to us that we have got everything, and now it's about that we should be ready to face them. And again, Oxide has the purple face. Because here, it's supposed that now he says that we have got all the trophies and keys, and now he says that he's gonna be waiting for us. But we just can ignore him and go for the rest of the stuff in the game. And thanks to what does this guy made at the beginning of the race, we can know why does he claims himself of the biggest. Well, the best racer on the galaxy. Also, my PB on the disc version, where I run the TSC version, begins 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 40 seconds. Since I'm running this game on the Virtual Console, we need to focus on the 1 hour and 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Definitely, this is not gonna be a PB, but I'm happy since I haven't reset any rates yet. And nice game. I'm gonna reset the track. Because I don't wanna give it a shot and try to reach him and try to do some skips. Nice moment. Okay, I can defeat him from this point. Dude. Everything was a bit decent and now these things needs to happen. What a game. Oh my god. Okay, intended route on the first lap. Fun fact, even when you learn what the Oxide does on the original game, it's more easier to defeat him on Nitro Field. I don't need bombs, he's so far away from me, giving me something else that I really need. Okay, I have the missiles, I just need to see where this guy is, and I feel nice. No! Okay, he's close. And that's another problem with the race with him, that he used to throw a lot of items, making a bit more complicated to defeat him. Now, so I haven't thrown randomly the missiles, I throw all of them on purpose because he was gonna put some nitro boxes, so he put 2, I rogue 2, and then okay, I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna go for a skip. This is not good. Okay, intended way. I'm gonna finish under the estimate anyways. Dude, this is so bad. Oh my goodness, no. Please, I got some bad luck this weekend in another marathon, so please, RNG, help me and let me finish under my estimate. Because on the marathon that I was on this weekend, I ran out of my estimate. If at some point I wasn't able to face him, or if I fall on another of the items that he left on the floor, I'm gonna reset the track as the last time that I will be doing this. Except this is not gonna be good. Even if I reset at this point, I'm gonna be able to finish under the estimate, but that's not the case again, so please give it to me. No, why? Okay, last attempt. It's all or nothing. This has been some very awful attempts. Okay, the third needs to be the good one. We can make it. If Mitch was able to get back on its way on his SMB3 race on another big marathon that happened some time ago, due to an unfortunate a floor stomp that make that somebody else's console, well, that makes that his console actually a bit weird with the game. I believe myself that I can do this. I'm not gonna get this. I'm not gonna go for the skip now because the cloud's gonna make me going a bit slow. Son of a! Oh my god, no. Okay, I haven't seen that he had put a potion behind a box. What such a troll that this guy is? Oh no. Okay. We can do it, we can do it. Okay, I just need to avoid these potions. I really need an Aqua Mask right now, but the game's not gonna give to me any of them. So it's time to keep grinding items again. Unless give me a bubble or something like that, it's gonna be helpful. Not a bomb is useless. Okay, I don't remember when it was the last time that I got problems like these against Oxide. It's now or never. Nice! This is gonna give me a 15 seconds advantage up to this point. So, if everything goes fine, I'm gonna be able to finish this. Even if I fail the skip on this lap, I'm gonna be able to finish. But I'm gonna try to get it because probably we're gonna run out of estimate, so I hope that that doesn't happen. Probably yes for a few seconds, but anyways. Well, I'm studying an engineering. I'm starting to be an engineer, so math is my life. Okay, intended route. I'm not gonna try to do this again. Okay, time's gonna finish once I cross the finish line. So be ready because time is gonna be so soon. And time. Definitely, I don't have words to define this last boss race. It was really awful. Oh my god, no. But well, at last I was able to finish. I'm really sorry because I ran out of the estimate for 28 seconds, but I hope that you have enjoyed the run. But well, now at this point we have defeated Oxide, but this is not gonna be enough for him. He's not gonna recognize that we have beaten him already. Because now he's gonna make that the game crash. Yes, the game has crashed right now, and this is another of the effects of the language glitch. So, and when you're gonna do a 101% run, you usually left Oxide at the end, but at some point you need to be saving just to avoid any kind of crash that can happen due to the glitch. But here, the reason why the game has crashed is because it's trying to load the cutscene of the bad ending, because this game has two endings, the bad and the good ending. So in this case, it's trying to load a cutscene, but since there's no language select, the game doesn't know what to do, so that's the reason why the game crashes. The bad ending is that, well, Oxide said that we have defeated him, and that he cannot believe that we have defeated him since he never loses, but that the deal keeps going because we need to get all the crystals, gems, relics, all the stuff that we need on the game to get 101% completion of the game. And the good ending is obviously when you get all of this and you face him and he leaves the earth. So that's basically the difference between endings. So well, I really hope that you have enjoyed this run as much as I have enjoyed doing it for you, everybody. So, quick shoutouts. First of all, shoutouts to the RUL staff for giving me the opportunity to be featured again on this RetroThon event. I have been also on the previous editions, and I really like this online marathon because it's really cool to see some good action on the retro game. So, thanks for giving me the opportunity of showcasing this game. Also, shoutouts to the multilingual restreams that this marathon is gonna is having, and this is the third day of the marathon, so we still having a good amount of nice retro action and inspired retro action in the rest of the week. So keep enjoying the marathon, and see you everybody. Peace, and keep enjoying the event. Thanks again for having me.